Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the show. It's your boy Rico No Suave here on the show. Oh, man, I'm super happy to be back with each and every one of you guys. Man, I missed you guys like I miss you guys every single week. I hope you guys are ready to have a great time as far as with us today. And, when we talk about having a great time, we talk about having a great time. Today we got a fun filled packed show for each one of you guys today and all of my supporters. I would just want to say thank you so much. I really love you guys all, man, and thank you guys so much for just being here for another great show. All right, everybody. There's some things we're gonna do. On the second half, I just want to tell you there's some things we're gonna do in the second half that we're gonna actually that's been hitting the network viral. So stay tuned for that as well too. But first, we have to share our condolences as far as to one of the greats itself, one of the actors. His name is Val Kilmer. So Val Kilmer was one of my favorite when I saw him on Tombstone. That was one of my favorite movies. Man, that was one of my favorite movies. And when I tell you about Val Kilmer, he was very unique, but he also had just a style to him as well too. And he was a classy man. He was a classy guy. And when I tell you about being classy, look at him right there. The guy is just super classy. I mean, you ain't really got to have a photo shoot for him. You just get a camera, take a photo. The guy looks classy. And that's one of the things that I really love. And I've saw a few interviews as far as with him and very politeful guy as far as from what I've seen, right? I wish I could have been able to meet him as well, but he is an awesome actor and also a good person with a great personality. Yeah, so I want to say rest in peace. Passed away at 65 years of age. He was in Top Gun, one of the favorite movies of all times as well too. And I want to say rest in peace to none other than Val Kilmer. We are going to miss you. You were the Batman. You were that Tombstone. Yeah, you was that Top Gun. And you were a lot of other great acting parts that you actually had, but you were a great personality overall. So once again, thank you so much. Keep us down as far as within heaven itself and show us your protection and make sure that all of the actors that's following your footsteps continue to root us on from heaven. That's Val Kilmer, everybody. Yes. All right, everybody. We got to introduce, hey, just so you guys know, me and her, we go way back, like 2 years. And when I say we go way back like 2 years, I have actually was kind of, I wouldn't say the first ones to be able to interview her, but being able to be amazed by her career, by her journey, but understanding that when you're a world champion, that means a lot of her being on my show today, but also for the world to be able to know. She is a female MMA fighter. She is also a podcast host because, women, they hit harder sometimes. But I know she hits hard because I definitely want to be in a ring with her. I want you guys to put your hands together for none other than my girl tuning in from Florida. Let's go. My girl, Julia Dorny. Let's go. Julia, how you
Hello.
doing? How you doing, love?
Hey, my love. Thank you. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, you
Man,
know what? When you did the introduction of Walkheimer dying, I was so surprised. Oh my God, I was like speechless.
yeah.
Been a
65 years
crazy
old.
year. Yeah, a lot of people, you know, these days I feel like it's just sad. Everybody's passing around you. And
Man,
I guess this is just, you have to understand that when you come to this planet at one point, life is ending, circle of
yeah,
life, and it's just so sad. Like it could be us tomorrow, so
that's true.
enjoy every single day, enjoy everything you have.
I totally agree with that. And we should always definitely love our loved one, love our friends, love the people around us, and just continue to encourage each other to be the best we can actually be each and every day. And let's stop that hate. Let's love each other because you never know when you might need that person. So, but yes, thank you. I love that you're here back on the show again. And everybody, just so you guys know, she's back for part two because she's like, Rico, I missed you. And I said, I miss you too. I want to know what's going on with you. So I got to have the show has developed. I said, let's go. I got to have Julia back on the show. All right. Julia, are you ready to have a good time? You ready?
Oh, hell yes, let's go.
Let's go. All right,
Let's
let's
see
get
what
it
you
on.
got, Rico.
Let's get it on. All right, at a young age, of course, being born in Germany, what was your first category of martial arts that you witnessed, that you saw, that you loved?
So that's a good one, Rico. So I know people just consider me with MMA these days, yeah. So, but I
Yeah.
started like at a young age when I was 7 years old with judo. So I've been in judo for 28 years at this point, and I think it's really
Wow.
great. Sometimes when I train with people at the gym, they're not even that old, and I say I've been in judo for 28 years competing on, national level and world level and all that stuff. And you're like only 20. Wow. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is judo. From judo, I did my transition to MMA and sumo wrestling and BJJ and all that, all those
Wow.
martial arts.
You know, Julia, when we talk about that, because I love to talk about how deep it actually gets in regards to um in regards to how judo, the different martial arts, as well, like judo itself. Can you take us through the process of the different arts itself and how they're different from each other that you learned?
So of course, what I like about judo is that it's a very, very traditional, old-fashioned martial arts, like one of the oldest, I might say.
Yeah.
And it's very respectful. You have to know, you have to appreciate your coaches, your senseis. You have to appreciate your partners. You just have to have that certain kind of humanity within you, even though it's fighting in the tough sport. It's always very respectful. Like the way I grew up with that sport, it's just been like that. And the good thing about judo is that you have like, let's say, two parts. You have the nevaza part, which is the ground stuff.
Uh-huh.
You can hold people down, you can choke them, armbar them, garami them. But you also
Wow.
have the standing up part, which is all the throws and the transitions. And back in the days when I started, one fight was like 5 minutes. And when you go to a competition, you usually have like 5 to 6 fights at one competition. And you
Wow.
just fight a lot. You have to keep yourself warm. So like almost every weekend we would go and compete and travel to crazy places. And I'm just so thankful because throughout my career as a fighter and also as a journalist, I've been
Yeah.
able to travel the world a lot. And I'm 35 years old. I can say I've been almost everywhere on this planet.
Yeah. Let's
And
go.
that's great. And also, that martial arts circle, it doesn't matter where you go because people kind of speak the same language.
Yeah.
So let's say you go to Japan, let's say you go to Brazil, to China, everybody speaks the same language and you're all cool, you're friends, you respect each other and you're helping each other. So this is what I love about it.
Yeah.
And MMA these days they call it the queen of martial arts because it brings everything together. A lot of people have backgrounds in judo and sambo and karate and boxing and kickboxing. And MMA allows you to put like a game on where you choose from like every kind of sport, whatever suits you, the best.
Right. The one thing that I like about what you're talking about with how every you go to different countries and everybody speaks the same language even though it's different cultures, but it's the movement in regards to what you're learning, and basically you're basically talking the same language of the art itself. And I think that is such a great thing. And you kind of talked about this at the very beginning where that you have to, life is too short, right? And I think by you having that path of being in martial arts, you actually was just basically enjoying what you loved from a young age and up until now. How has each one of those impacted each one of the category of the martial arts as a young age and growing up? How has that impacted you personally and also professionally in a good way?
Oh my God, Rico, this question is so, compact in itself already. I could probably fill the entire night with explaining that one, but I don't want to bore you guys. But what I can say is like, of course, when you start at a young age, like I remember myself, I was like, having my first judo gi on, looking
Yeah,
at these senseis with the black belts, the national eagle, like the German eagle, the German stripes,
yeah,
and like winning world medals and all that stuff. And I was like, man, one day I want to have that too. dreaming
Yeah.
big. And you just keep working and working and working, and then you start succeeding. You also have to experience that you're losing, even though you're really good, it can
Yeah.
always happen because there's always going to be people that are better than you, or your
Yep.
nerves, or whatever. Like it's just a lot that you have to deal with. It's not just, the technical stuff, they're training world champions, but the competition is different because your mind, the effort with you.
Yes. Yes.
But I was going to say, what I really like is, when you come to that point where you are able, being a sensei, being a black belt, also teaching other people, teaching kids, juveniles, adults,
Yeah.
doing seminars, and people pick up from you and they say, well, this is from Sensei Julia. She taught us that. And she fought like, on international mats, and she fought in the world, and she showed me that. And I'm so happy. And, every fighter has his own individual style, which is so nice too. But if it's just a little tiny bit that can one person can pick up from you, it's just so
Yes.
beautiful when you see how they apply it. When you know it works, then it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
And I will never forget. Also, judo has its roots in Japan, obviously, and
Right.
Japan. Like fighting people from Japan was such a thing back in the days for me. I was like, oh my God, these people, like judo's in their DNA.
Right.
So I remember my first international competition where I actually beat Japan by ippon, by a big point, by the highest score you could get. I was like, oh my
Wow.
God. It was just
Wow.
such a great thing. And obviously you build on that. So you keep fighting, you keep competing, you go to different tournaments, different sports, all that stuff.
Sure.
And you see that, the little key is just to believe in yourself and not just think about, oh my God, Japan, Brazil, China. No, you have a strength too, so you have to know what you bring to the table. Don't underestimate yourself either.
I love that.
So it's like that balancing yin and yang. Obviously it's so old, but it's so true. Like, don't underestimate your opponent, but also don't underestimate yourself.
Yes.
And I guess that's key. Like, you can apply this to a lot of things in life, and in career and personal life, and everything.
Yeah. I think when you were on the last when you were on a couple years ago and we were talking about this, you can definitely see as far as how well you were training and how you actually developed when you were there and versus now it's like you're still the same. You know what I mean? I love it because you're still that humble person, but you also are very appreciative in regards to life, in regards to what you learn. And I really love that. I really love that about you. The one thing that I have to say is it's not easy for someone. I shouldn't say it's not easy for someone because there's a mentality thing that's behind it of can I do it or can I not do it? I think people can do it, but I think that's the mentality. What motivated you from a mentality standpoint to go from judo to the different arts itself and basically help to accomplish that? What kept you motivated to be able to do those things?
Winning.
Let's go. Let's
I,
go.
I love, I
That's
just
my
love
girl.
winning. I just love winning. It's
Let's
the
go.
the most beautiful feeling in the world when the referee raises your arm and says,
Let's
you
go.
new winner. This
Let's
is like
go.
what keeps me going on. So
Yeah.
looking back, the sport has always been such a big part of my life. I did my
Right.
bachelor's, I did my graduation from high school, my master's, like all these things that I did, but it was always the sport that gave me so much, I don't know, energy and all that, that comes with it. Luckily, I was smart enough to get my bachelor's and master's and my journalistic training and all that
Let's
stuff
go.
done.
Yeah.
And I graduated with really good marks with like A's and all that stuff. But I've just always been really hardworking, I guess. And, looking back at it now, I'm like, well, I did this. I had a full-time job. I was in school. I was in university. I was teaching. I had my job. I cut it all off my private life. But you know what? I told you this a couple of years ago because it is my life and I actually really love what I'm doing. It doesn't feel like work. It's nice to wake up and feeling passionate about your day, and I'm not like, oh my God, I have to go to work and I can't wait for the weekend to come. This has never been me. If it was like that, I was like, nah, I cannot do this. So I might just gonna change it.
Yeah. That's what I
And
love
then
about
me,
it.
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And
Continue.
no, no, sorry, it's a little time lapse here. But I
No
was gonna
worries.
say, that also motivated me to say, okay, you know what? I could have had my great career in Germany. Like I had everything. I was on the TV, I was anchoring, I had the news, I was reporting, I was an editor, I was everything.
Yeah.
But I said, you know what? At this point, when I moved here, I was 32. And I'm
Mm.
like, I don't want to look back and regret anything. I might eventually just go and do it.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse in the world than looking back and be like, oh man, I should have, could have, would have, No, I said, I'm just going to try it. And there's obviously always a key learning, no matter what you do. And what it does definitely is make you more resilient. It
Yes.
teaches you resiliency. So I was like, I cannot really lose anything. And you know what? In the end, obviously, there's a lot of stuff in your apartment that has an emotional value, but it's
Yes.
still going to be yours, even though it's in boxes somewhere stored. And you just build a new life. Like I came here with 2 suitcases and 4 boxes I had shipped from Germany, and I built a complete new life.
Let's go.
But I'm still the same person. It's just under different circumstances. And I also think that knowledge is power. Like everything I've been through in the past 3 years
Yep.
just made me more stronger, more resilient, more smart. Like looking back, I thought I was already really developed at 32, but now I'm 35 and you have no idea what I've been through. So I'm like, thank you for
Yeah.
every day, for all the key learnings. Thanks God, it's very interesting.
Yes. Yes. And coming from one country to another, and then also seeing how the USA, runs differently, or run in some cases the same. I mean, we're all human beings. We laugh, we cry. We do both sometimes, and it's just how we actually maneuver and be able to attack some of the situations. And I do applaud you because when you did come over from Germany and you came here and then started that path and saying, hey, I have to continue to move forward to be able to make things happen, which goes into a question that I do have from the audience. So the audience is already, hey, Julia, they're welcoming you. So I got to make sure I say something. So we have Donna Marie Berg checking in. She says, hello, everybody. Hello. She says, hello, Julia. Hello. Rhonda Stramel
Hello,
is
hello.
checking in as well, too. Texas in the building. Long time no see. How's it going? Donna Marie Bird said, John T says, tell everyone that says hello. He couldn't make it for tonight, but he's definitely think about all of Rico's team. Oh, thank you so much. Love you guys. Love you. Love you. And then she says, oh, I love Julia. She says it's just great to see her again. So this is a person that's seen you before and basically seen you again. Thank you so much. Beatrice says, hello, I'm here. I was like, hello, Beatrice. She said, I got a question for Julia. How do you mentally prepare for a fight? And what's the most challenging part of your training regimen? Good question.
It's another deep one, man.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. From my own experience, I can only say you can put in all the work. You can train your butt off. You can,
Yes.
sweat and cry and then whatever. But in the end, the competition is a different game.
Yes.
So, when you're like in your normal environment with the people that even though it's like hard, it's still, it's like kind of coming home. But going to another city, going to another state, going to another country, fighting, it's just so different. You have to be mentally so strong. How do you train that? I guess some people have it and some just don't.
Mm,
But you can just talk to yourself and make sure that you remember where you came from and what you're aiming for and what motivates you, and that you love all of this. And nobody's forcing you to do it because you are here because you want to do it and you
that's
want to
right.
succeed. And there's always this thing with the chances. When you fight somebody, it's 50-50.
Right. Yeah.
But in training, you can prepare for those situations. Okay, this is close distance, this is far distance, this is what I have to overcome. I have to grab, bring the person down, do that, do that. It's all different scenarios that we train, but in the end, like, the competition is different. Let's say you wake up feeling shitty, you didn't sleep good the night before. It can completely screw your game over. It's just the
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah.
But there's some days you wake up and you feel like $1 million. You're like, today I just know I'm gonna kill it. I just know it.
Let's go. I try to
Yeah,
feel like
let's
that
go.
every day. I try to not wake up on the wrong side of the bed, Julia. I try to wake up on the right side of the bed or even in the middle. Be like, let's go. Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Patty Escobar, hello, Patty Escobar. Thank you so much for checking in. She says hello. She says along the same lines of Beatrice's question. She said, what has been Julia's most memorable win, the one that lives in her memory as most special?"
That's a good one too. Man,
Yeah.
you make me think, but I like thinking. That's the good thing about it. Um, my most memorable fight. I mean, I had quite a few. In judo, I had like over 800
Wow.
and like 20 MMA fights and all that stuff. But I guess, winning my first European and World Championships in MMA was probably one of the greatest. Yeah.
Nice.
Like in that moment, I was the reigning European champion, traveled to Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, going into that final second round. And I knew like I was on top of her and she started tapping because I was armbarring her. And I was like, oh my God, she just tapped. That means I'm in the final of the World Championships.
Let's
Oh my God,
go.
I just won.
Let's
And
go.
I just remember that tap on my leg. And when the referee stepped between us, and I was like, "Oh my God, I just did it."
Wow.
It's and I just didn't want the day to go over. I was like, "Can it just last forever, please?" And you know what? In that moment, I was so happy, but believe it or not, because I'm so in my head, I said, "Really, only one world championship, and you're happy about that? Oh my God."
Oh, wow. Wow. I guess that gets you, I think what it does is it gets you your adrenaline and your all of everything that you put together, and that adrenaline is still there. Like you want more, you want more, you want more. And I think that is such a blessing. That's such a great thing to have. And it keeps people motivated as well too. So man, hey,
Yeah.
great question. Great question, Patty Escobar. Hey, I got something for you. There's a fan of ours, that's on the show. And this fan is a big fan of mine. I appreciate it, and knowing that you're here makes it even special, Julia. So there's a guy named Ray, and Ray, it's his birthday, Julia. I want to say happy birthday to my man Ray. Ray, thank you so much. Happy birthday to you. We don't know how old you are, but we'll say 21. How about that? No, let's do 22. Forget about it. We'll do 22. Happy 22nd birthday to my man Ray. Julia, do you want to say happy birthday to him?
Alles Liebe zum Geburtstag, lieber Ray. Alles Liebe zum 22. Möge Glück, Gesundheit und Frieden mit dir sein und ganz viel Konfetti am Boden der Tatsachen.
You got it in translation the other way. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, Ray, hey, I hope this is your best birthday you ever had. You had one in English and one in, what did you say? It's in German? Was that a German?
That was German, yes.
Let's go. Let's go. You're only going to get it here, Ray. You're going to get it here. Next time your birthday come, we'll see who else is here to say another different language. I might even just say, Feliz cumpleaños también. Feliz cumpleaños, Ray. Now you got three. You got three. Happy birthday, man, and continue to be blessed. Thank you so much. Ooh, wait. All right. Okay. And yeah, and thank you, Karen. Thank you, Karen Clump. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. All right, let's keep it going. So we got a few more minutes. Time fly by fast when we're having fun, love. So great questions to the audience. If you have more questions for Julia, please let's get it on. All right. So there's different belts that you accomplish and the different of the martial arts, right? When Let's talk about the different belts that you've actually accomplished. Is it different belts of different colors for each belt, or is it black belts for each one of the categories? How does that work?
Well, there's different graduation systems. For example, judo, when you start young, you also have those half belts. So from white, which is your first belt to put your kimono together,
Yeah.
You go to white and yellow, and then yellow and orange, orange, green, green, blue, brown, black. And then there's six more black belts.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
that's judo. And BJJ, you start with the white belt too. then you get stripes on it. And the second belt you get after a couple of years is blue. And then you get more stripes. When you have 4 stripes, usually you get the purple belt. Then you collect more stripes. Eventually, you get the brown belt. You collect more stripes, and obviously you have to be
Wow.
successful competing too or coaching, and then you get your black belt.
Wow.
And yeah.
Wow. So, you know, I don't know if I'm old enough to be take any of these classes, but sometimes I need to protect myself. You know, when it comes down, I've always wanted to take kind of like a MMA class itself, just to know how to just protect and things like that. When it comes to protection itself for you, I would rather for you to be my bodyguard than me to be able to have any problems against you. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. Um, how did that help you in regards to, as a woman, to be able to help teach other women how to protect themselves?
Well, that's a deep question again, Rico. So I try to make it short.
Sure.
But there's obviously a difference between competition in itself and also street fight,
Correct.
self-defense.
Yes.
So what I'm doing is I'm a competitor and I know the competition rules, the unified rules for MMA, which apply to every fight. And everybody knows what's going on. And if you don't stick to it, you get penalties, and you might even get disqualified.
Sure.
Street fight is a complete different story. So a couple of years ago I started women's self-defense classes. What it is like you have to understand, even as a man or a woman, when somebody is overstepping a certain distance which is healthy to have, we say the meter, and they come too close and they're in your comfort zone. You can obviously try to you know verbalize it and say, stop it, you're too close, back away, please, blah, but be loud and clear. But if, let's say, they're on drugs or have, weapons, or they're just too in your face, you can obviously warn them.
Right.
Look, if you don't stop this, I'm gonna hit you in the face. I'm gonna hit you, whatever. Because in my case, because I'm a professional fighter, if I just go off on someone, I might go to jail because they
Right.
consider myself as a weapon,
Correct.
myself, without even having a weapon.
Yes.
But for normal people, let's say there's a woman, she's like 5'4", and the guy, oversteps borders and does something. She can do everything to hurt him. She can, hurt his eyes, his private parts, everything. But what it is like, you should know that it's never, the goal is not to finish the other person. It's to create a time frame from 3 to 5 seconds to run off and get out of
Right.
that situation. If you have a guy that is like 5'11", 6 foot or whatever, and he's heavy, and you're a small petite woman, you cannot wrestle with him.
Right.
It just doesn't work this way. So create that time frame to just get off and get some help. That's what I teach too. Obviously, there's certain techniques that you can apply, which are easy because it works with physics. For example, an arm bar. When somebody grabs your shoulder, you just go over it and hit that angle and arm bar the person or have control over the person. That's a different story.
Yeah.
But some people are on drugs, amphetamines, cocaine, whatever, and they don't even feel nothing no more. So what you gonna do?
Right.
Create a
Wow.
time frame where you can run off.
Ooh, man. And I know that's something that I've wanted to ask you in regards to that. Of course, because the last time we didn't have enough time, but self defense. I know that you are considered as a weapon when you actually have multiple, categories of experience in different martial arts, and I think that makes it very dangerous for someone to even not even that they don't know you or even just for them to be able to protect themselves. So I am so happy that you are also, you're teaching women of self-defense as well, because I think that's definitely needed as well. And hey, we all need that protection, but I've always wanted to ask that question as well too. So thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. It's time to take a break. Julia, we got to take a break. We're gonna be back. Everybody, you already know it's the MMA world champion and also the podcast host. When we come back, we're gonna talk about that podcasting. We'll get a little bit more deep as far as into the martial arts. But everybody, we will be back with none other than the world champion, Julia Dorny. Let's go. We'll see you right now.
Feeling sluggish? Struggling with stubborn weight and visceral fat? It's time to reset with Fupa Water. Packed with powerhouse ingredients like spirulina, turmeric, and aloe vera, Fupa Water is your daily detox and hydration boost all in one. Flush out toxins, energize your body, and say goodbye to that stubborn belly fat. Ready to feel lighter and stronger? Get yours today at fupawater.com. And for a limited time, use code RNSS for the Rico No Suave show and get an additional 10% off on your first order.
And welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Yeah, we are back. None other than the Rico No Suave show. None other than the world champion, the podcast host, my girl, Julia Dorny. Hey, Julia, you having a good time?
I do, always with you.
Let's go.
It's I like the mix. It's always humorous, but also deep,
Yeah, let's go.
and
Hey.
kind of, it can actually be funny, that.
Hey, that's what it's about. Hey, that's what it's about. We having great times, great conversation, and just letting the world know about you, Julia. All right, let's get it. Okay, so you know, of course, in regards to the style of, of your boxing matches over the past 2 years, in regards to how many more fights, man, I should ask you that. Over the past 2 years, how many more fights have you been in regards to with competition? And also, you were talking about, you're teaching a class. Talk to us a little bit about the competitions, number one, and then talk to us in regards to who you've been teaching, and go from there. I want to know more about that.
Oh my goodness, since last time we talked, I probably had I had a couple of more fights, and I actually also became the pillow fight, the pillow fight world champion
Let's go.
with the pillow fight world champion with the fastest technical knockout in the history of that sport.
What?
Hey, you know what? Wait a second. I have to show you this. This is insane. Wait a
Let's go.
second. This is so cool.
Okay.
You're not gonna believe it. Give me 1 second.
Everybody, you already know it's Julia doing it. She about to show us something special, man. We about to show somebody something special. My girl actually pillow fights. That's something else that I'm learning about. I just learned about
I
her
am
with
right
pillow
here.
fights. Okay, here we go. Talking about protection. Hey,
This is like the
what's in those
nicest
pillows?
belt that I ever won. It's crocodile leather, real gold, and it's really, really heavy. And it's mine.
Let's put that on the big screen. I gotta see that big screen. Let's go. You gotta hold that up. Let's see. Hold on. So it's what is it? P
Oh my goodness, this is the
flip
wrong
it
side.
around. There you go. Yeah, flip
It's heavy.
it. Let's go, man. Let's
See that? It's
go.
crocodile leather.
Let's go. PFC, baby. Hey, this is the first time I've ever heard that. Oh my God.
It's becoming
PFC.
such a thing. It's really crazy. But yeah, anyway, I did this because I was getting ready for a fight, which has been, I don't know, let's say postponed 3 times. And at this point, I was just so like, I need to compete at this point. I just need a competition. And then I
Mm-hmm.
got in touch with Steve Williams, which is the CEO of that league.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, you should come and fight for us. And if you win your tryout, I'm going to send you to the World Championships.
Nice.
So we went. And I had just moved from Germany. I was in Germany, in Berlin for 3 weeks to empty out my apartment and sell all sell my apartment, sell my furniture, ship my stuff away, bring stuff away, donate stuff. And I was coming back with the jet lag, and I was like, taking it. Obviously, I wanted to win, and obviously it was a lot of money, but I had no idea. But anyway, I
Wow.
went in there and I just did it. And she actually, in the first round, she said she threw her pillow on the ground and said, "Thank you, that's it," because I hit her so hard in the face.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. That's like an airbag. Like, oh my God. That's
I mean, this is like special competition pillows with a special, cover, and you have handles, and you have to hold these handles, and you get points for that. And then you have the 360s, which is like spinning around your own body to
yes.
the head, but only the punches to the head count. And I got her off balance. I did the 360s, hit her to the head. I guess she didn't expect my power there.
Yeah. They didn't know who you were. Uh yeah.
But it was funny because a pillow fight was cool because I got to compete. The risk of injuries are not that high as an MMA. I
Uh-huh.
got my competition and I made some money. It was good for my name and reputation. I was on ESPN. They would play this all day long, like the craziest sports and knockouts, and I was like ranked number one there, like on ESPN and ESPN
Wow.
8 and all that stuff. I was like, okay, that's really cool, thank you. And it was fun,
Wow.
it was a new experience. So I know a lot
Wow.
of people are laughing about it, but believe me, once they get hit with this pillow in the
I'm
face for the
sure.
first time, they're not laughing anymore.
I'm sure.
Especially as an MMA fighter, when you have that power
Yeah.
and the balance, and you know how to stand and how to swing and distance.
Oh my goodness.
So, but
I
yeah, I also had MMA fights. Don't worry, I also fought MMA.
uh-huh.
But unfortunately, last year, uh, I was injured all year. I tore my labrum in my left shoulder. I
Oh
dislocated
no.
my clavic, and I know it's a tough game, so I couldn't compete. And yeah, it is what it is. That's fighter lifestyle. What can I say? It's part of the game, and you're just as good as your body is. And if you're injured, you cannot do nothing, especially in that sport where it's 1,000% always.
Yeah. And I think it's so how did the recovery phase as far as with you, cuz I think when you've been doing it for so long, right? You've been doing it for so long, it's like a dancer that's been dancing and then they get stepped on or they get their ankle or something had happened as far as the ankle and they're out and you still have that urge to be able to say, man, I can't wait till I heal. What was that like for you, knowing that you were kind of down? How did you take that over?
It was not easy for me, especially knowing that my time is counted at this point, because
Yeah.
I'm not, unfortunately, not getting any younger. I'm not Benjamin Button, and so I was like, man, like I'm 34 and I'm here to compete. I dedicated my life to that sport. I moved to Florida to the place to be for MMA and to compete. And now I'm injured. And it was not just like a whatever, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. It was literally the entire year that it took me to heal from that. I got stem cells injected and physical therapy and oh my God, absolutely everything they tried to do. And luckily I didn't need surgery.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was not easy mentally. But you know what? I started rethinking. I did my own business. I have my Julia Dorny Performance Incorporated now.
Nice.
As a German, to have your own business in America, that's pretty cool.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Yes.
it's an achievement. So that's successful. So
Yeah.
I was like, don't be sad about it. The injury is just, kind of pausing one thing for you to create another thing.
Yep.
So that's what I
Yep.
did. And I focused on my business. And yeah, I mean, I trained other things and oh my God, I did like a million things, but it made me more resilient for sure and more appreciative. And the only thing I can say to you, even though I know I'm always risking my health doing that sport,
Yep.
I love being healthy. I love being, having mobility. I love to be pain free. And it's nice. So when you actually get to that point and you wake up in the morning and you're like, wow, it's beautiful that you're not hurting right now.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah.
thing.
that knows that your body is actually healing itself, but you're also is positive that you don't try to, try to focus on actually the pain. Because I know, man, I guess when you tear something or you break something, I know that can really hurt for quite some time. With of course, with medicine and also with therapy, too. So, man, well, I congratulate you because you actually took the time to focus on other things to be able to continue to keep you going and keep you enhancing your ability, with your new endeavor. So we got to talk about women hit harder.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, that too.
Yeah,
That
that
too.
that
Yeah.
podcast. Let's talk about the podcast. Why did you get it started? And tell us an overview as far as what that's about.
I think I started Women Hit Harder about 5 years ago at
Okay.
this point, maybe five and a half.
Okay.
And what I wanted to do is like I had a lot of male followers on all my social media platforms. And I was like always feeling that I also want to inspire women. Why? I mean, obviously people look at you like, oh my goodness, your physical body is great and you're strong and you're this and you're that. I was like, I try to motivate all these women, to do certain things, but I feel like the males were just, I don't know, it's probably more interesting for them. So I was like, okay, I want to push my numbers for the women. And then I started this podcast and it was not just women being my guests. I was like, I want to tell stories that are inspiring, because
Yeah.
everybody has a success story. Not everybody was successful from scratch. There's
Right.
always the goal, and then there's the way, and then this is your starting point, right?
Yes.
And you just have to know what you kind of want. Sometimes you don't know what you want, but you're still on the way, and you might figure out what you want on that way. So the way really is the key. And so I started this podcast. I had politicians on it, Olympians, an astronaut, uh, the strongest man in the world,
Wow.
fighters, TV personalities, actresses and actors, Guinness World Record holders,
Wow.
really everything. And it's just so cool. And obviously, I was really focused on other things when I first moved here. Then I picked up the podcast again, and then I was, busy with my company, and now I'm back at it, and it's just great. I love, just like you, Rico, it's nice to network with people and to meet people and talk to them and hear their stories, and it's inspirational, and it's also sometimes, sometimes they tell you something sad, but then they tell you also the resiliency that they gained, and how they feel better about themselves now, or that they help other people, or everybody, there's always something good. And what it does is like definitely great to get to know all these people and stories, but also to expand your network.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
and my thing was like, first I started doing my podcast in German, then I had a couple of people that were English speaking,
Sure.
and then the German audience was like, I want to hear the German podcast, and I was like in a conflict. And now I'm like, depending on my guests, I do English and German and whatever. I even had German guests that spoke English with me, so you can reach more people in English language.
Nice.
So yeah,
Nice.
and I think I have produced 53 or 54 episodes at this point.
Good for
which
you.
is which is I know not too many in the time I've been doing it, but never forget that I was also a TV journalist, and I had my competitions, and I had this and then I had that, and it shouldn't sound like an excuse. I'm just saying I used to publish it every 2 weeks in the beginning, and then I just could not pick up with this because I do the podcast completely by myself. I edit it by myself. I schedule everything. I what it takes.
I know, dude. I do. I definitely do. And I was gonna ask you, before we take a quick another commercial break, when you're speaking, have you ever did like, is it like for us, it's like, Spanish and English. Have you ever did like Spanglish, or did you ever do like Spanglish? Did you ever do like Jerglish?
Germlish, Dinglish, everything. I'm very good at it now. And sometimes I notice when I get tired at night or early in the morning, I speak perfect English. Also the sentence structure and everything. But it's funny when you actually have German people that do speak English as well. They have a little
Uh-huh.
bit of an accent. And then
Yeah.
you joke around about these phrases that they are German and you translate it word by word, and every American or English speaking person is like, oh my God, what are you trying to say? They think this is funny. And we,
Right.
this is the best laughing in the world when there's like literally no sound coming out anymore. You just like your eyes are like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my
And your
God.
stomach hurts and you're like,
You're on mute, right? Like when you're on, right. Oh my God. Julia, I'm having such a great time with you, but we got to take another commercial break. Everybody, after this commercial break itself, we're going to come back and I got something. Julia, you're going to like this. Hopefully you will. It's called Story Time. Everybody, we'll be back in 30 seconds. We'll be right back.
Every year, 800,000 children are reported missing. That's one child every 40 seconds. It's every parent's worst nightmare. Right now, there are 483 missing children cases still open. Your card donation can help keep kids safe and bring missing kids home. Donate your unwanted card today. Fast, free pickup, 24-hour response. Plus, you'll get the maximum tax deduction.
Call 800-723-2013.
All right, everybody. So now it is time for story time. Here in Chicago, we actually have very good restaurants. We're foodies all day, and there's foods from, meat lovers to vegetarians to vegans. So, and it's just we just have that very good culture of culinary arts and foodies and all that great stuff. Well, we do have tourists, and some of the tourists, they actually come by and they say, hey, you know what? We want to really see what your pizza's like. We heard you guys got good fried chicken, pollo frito, right? We know you have really great soul food. We know that you also have good cultures as well too. Well, these three ladies from New York decided to actually come to a restaurant called Soul Vibes. And Soul Vibes is, it's not me, but hey, it's a good soul vibe. So one of the things is that, for upcoming restaurants that's been really thriving, people do come and they give their reviews and they come and say, oh my God, the food is awesome. And as far as I know, I've heard it was really great. So we have these three young ladies that actually came in and they say, you know what, we're going to actually have a plot to this. We're going to actually have a situation with this. And their situation was to come in to be able to eat, and then they call it Dine and Dash. So they actually had Soul Vibes Inc. Thanks for the free food. So when they talk about Dine and Dash, they thought that they were really going to get, these the brazen thieves. They took to social media to boast about their crime, actually tagging Soul Vibes in posts, thanking them for the free food. So this is crazy because the owner itself, if we could put the owner up. So the owner itself comes up and says, the owner says, who operates 5 locations across the cities, and congratulations to you, claim the incident is just the latest in the troubling trend of increasing dine and dash crimes affecting both from the bottom line and their staff. And this is actually the owner's mother. So picture the owner's mother. And of course, hey, they're the owners as well too. And this is what they actually had on social media. So, yeah, they actually put this on social media too. This was $200 worth of food by 3 ladies. Surveillance footage revealed at the moment the women exited the restaurant one by one, just 30 seconds of their server stepping away from the table. Now, before we go to the next one, because what happens with this one is that they said that they had to wait 10 minutes, and they took too long just for them to actually give them their check. No, it was the fact that you knew that as soon as they were about to walk away, and once they gave you the bill, it was time for one person to go and then the other ones to go. So they actually posted this on the next one. So they said, child, y'all ain't going to learn by now that I'm going to post y'all. They're done, ran up the tab on the server, asked her to print another receipt and run out the door as soon as she got to print it. This is so disgraceful. I'm sorry. This is the actual. This is the owner. This is the people that work there. My server literally bust her A for customers, and to do this is not just by me, but my team that bust their butts to serve y'all. If you don't have it, just stay home. But on the other hand, I have their name, their phone numbers, and used for the waiting list and reported them, their names and their pictures. As an FYI, inside and outside are definitely, the cameras are in 4K. My thing about this whole thing is why? If you know, these are like, if you ever seen on video where you say the dumbest criminals or the dumbest thieves, if you ever seen that on Netflix or you seen them on YouTube or whatsoever, this is stupidity right now. You came from out of state to be able to get free food, and that was one of a story time that you guys should know that is going viral. This was insane. Let's get back to Julia because I know she's waiting. I hope she understood this. I hope she's laughing too. Julia, that was the most insane thing that happened here in Chicago. And Dine
Wow,
and Dash,
that's
I
kind
tell you,
of
that's crazy.
stuff. Yeah, that makes me so mad. We all like to eat out, and obviously it costs money that you get a special, serving and service and all that stuff. But to just go away and don't pay the bill, that's ridiculous.
Why go out?
It just frustrates me. Yeah, it just frustrates me.
Yeah. Like everybody is working hard. Everybody is working hard for the money, but also, and I like to cook. So I can understand, the presentation, it's all, and then you got the service. And then these people have multiple locations, which means that they're doing really good in regards to their unique style to be able to bring that to their restaurant. I'm like, wow, this is unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
Yes.
So, man, I had to put that story time up there because that's one that's going viral and everybody's talking about that. And I think they got caught. Well, hopefully they got caught because
I
yeah,
was
they're
gonna
gonna
say
get
at
caught.
least it's a good advertisement for that restaurant, because
Yes.
everybody's aware of the name now, and eventually they get their money back and
Yeah.
get a better reputation even. But yeah, overall it's just like you're like, where's the humanity? What happened to people? Why are you being so rude?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, I don't get it,
Yes.
man.
Let's go. Hey, Julia Dorny, everybody, if you don't know who she is, oh my God, over so many fights, I tell you, there's a lot of fights she's been in regards to competitions. She is a world MMA world champion, man. And the last time we did this was like, hey, how strong are you? And I remember that me and you, we did this together. We were like this. We did this together on the last one. So it was the guns. It was the guns that you have, and I was like, oh
Show
man,
the
the
guns.
guns. The guns it is. The guns it is. All right. So your podcast, congratulations to you and the podcast. Man, I'm so happy for you as well too. And I got to come on to your podcast too. I'm gonna have to come down. I'm gonna have to come down to Florida to be on your podcast because I
Well,
want
you
to
can
talk
either
about
come
this.
down and visit me, or we just do it online and I cut it nicely together. That's gonna be cool too, you know?
We can do that too. We can do that too. Hey, I'm okay with that. I was just thinking about Florida. That's all I was
Well, come
thinking
to
about.
Florida and you cook something cool.
I got it. Done. Done. We got that live. We got that live. We got that live. Julia, okay. So in regards to your podcast, how often does it go live or is it pre-recorded and where can people see it?
So yeah, it's I think I did like only two that were live.
Okay.
So I pre-record them and I edit them and I never cut like stuff out. I just, put because the Zoom is like kind of ugly, it's like this little stripe and whatever. So when I edit it, I have like this background and I blow it up a little bit and then I have the people speak in and you see their interaction a little bit. And yeah, I'm trying to publish it between every 2 to 4 weeks now, let's say one every month.
Okay. Okay. So once a
And
month. Okay.
yeah, this is like healthy for me, then you know what it takes to
I
organize
do.
it. be on that show, edit it, put it on. That's the other question. The platforms. I work with Anchor FM, so yeah, it's like on all the main podcast portals like Spotify, Google Podcasts, and all those platforms. But I also put it on YouTube.
Okay.
Like because that's a good thing about Women Hit Harder. It's an audio video podcast.
Nice. Let's go. Let's go. And
Yeah.
it's what's the name of it on what is the name of it on YouTube?
Always Women Hit Harder. Women as
Always?
in plural, yes. Like
Uh-huh.
no, women hit harder. The Female Power Podcast.
Nice. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
But yeah, under Women Hit Harder, you find it everywhere. You put women hit and then you already find it.
Let's go. Let's go. Hit harder. Let's go. Oh my God. Julia, time is not on our side. And, I had such a blast with you. And, time fly by fast when we're having fun. I got one last question for you. One last question. If people, I'm sorry, let's say women, female fighters that want to follow your path in regards to the martial arts with the different categories, what words can you give to them of encouragement for them to be able to follow that path?
Yeah, what can I say? Follow your dream, follow your instinct, do what you love. You have to understand that you don't have to do sparring or that you don't have to compete. Just let alone go to practice and learn some new techniques, get a feeling for your own body, for your own strength, for your own awareness, for certain moments and training. You practice all of that. And from this point forward, you can decide what you do with it. If you just do it to stay in shape, get toned, get nice shoulders and arms and the body and abs and whatever, or if you're actually gonna use it for a competition, or if you I don't know, if you don't do anything with it, but you're just well aware of like if ever anything happens to you on the street, you know what to do.
Yeah,
But I can just say like don't let anybody tell you what to do. If you feel like you want to try it, people always going to judge you.
right,
If you're strong and tall and blonde and it's too masculine, or you're then too thick, or you're too this, or this is too much, who cares? In the end, who pays the bills? Right, it's
right.
you.
That's right.
So do what you think is best for your life, because you only have one life, and you should surround yourself with good people that support you and not judge you.
Let's
It's
go.
their limitations if they judge you, not your own ones.
Yes. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, and take that advice to all your female fighters that want to follow that path. Continue to follow that path and for your dream itself. Hey, Julia, it's been great to have you on the show. We're going to put up your social media because we want everybody to know how they can get in contact with you. So everybody, make sure you go to Instagram at Julia Dorny. Make sure you go and check her out on Instagram. Yes, make sure you go and check her out. Here's the next one because it's all about the team, baby. Team Dorny. Team Dorny on Facebook
Teamwork makes the dream work. There
all
you go.
day on Dorny. And then we have nothing but the website, baby. Make sure you go to www.juliadorny.com. Make sure you go and check her out there. And hey, her website is the bomb. I really love the website. You're going to love the video on the first page. So, Julia, thank you so much for being on the show, love. I hope you had a great time as well. And yeah, I hope you had a good time because I know I did.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for having me. I hope we could, get some good inspiration out there. And yeah, just check us out. Keep working, keep dreaming, keep going for it. Life is fragile, so do the best what you can with it. Enjoy every minute of it. And
Yeah,
if you feel like you're in a situation where now you're kind of stuck or you're not happy, then just change something. Don't get stuck. Just change it up a little bit.
let's go. Julia Dorney, I want to say thank you so much for being here, love. Everybody, put your hands together for Julia Dorney. Let's go. See you, love. All
Bye,
right,
guys.
everybody. See you. Everybody, we got to get out of here. It's your boy, Rico No Suave. We got to get out of here. And what I have to tell you is thank you guys so much for being with us here on the Rico No Suave Show. We got to go over our social media so you guys know exactly how to contact us. Let's start off with the website. The website is www.riconosuaveshow.com. Make sure you go ahead and check us out there because we're always updating. Here's the next one. Oh, yeah, it's Instagram at Rico No Suave Show. Go ahead and follow us on the Rico No Suave Show, everybody. It's all love. And you know, the next one is Facebook. Like and love at Rico No Suave Show. That's what it's all about. Let's go to the next one. Oh, yeah, this is a big one. At Rico No Suave Show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, everyone. Hey, if you enjoy it and you're a YouTuber, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, comment, like, and subscribe. All right, here's the next one. Oh, yeah. It turns into a podcast, everybody. Turns a podcast, goes into audio, but we do go live there on mixcloud.com. Rico No Suave Show. That's all you got to put in, and I'm there. Last but not least, we have none other than Red Coral Universe. Make sure you please go and check out our past interviews on Red Coral Universe, and then we'll go from there. All right, everybody, we got to get out of here, but thank you guys so much for actually tuning in to the Rico No Suave Show. I've been your host for today, and I love to host you every single Wednesday that we're here. All right, everybody, every show. I'll see you guys next time as we end off the show just like